Simple sentences, fragments, and run-ons. A simple sentence is a group of words that contain a subject and a predicate. When read together, it makes a complete thought. A subject is who or what is doing the action in a sentence. A subject is always a noun or a pronoun. For example, words like students, turtles, the rock stars, my water bottle, the t-shirt, they, we, I, and it can all be subjects because they're nouns or pronouns. A predicate is the action in a sentence. It's what the subject is doing. A predicate is always going to be a verb, which is an action word. For example, words like run, jump, think, sleep, is, are, and have been can all be predicates. As long as the group of words has a subject and a predicate and it makes sense, it's a simple sentence. So let's look at some examples. The student wrote the answer. In this sentence, the student is the subject and wrote is the predicate because that's what the student is doing. Number 2, my dad cooked dinner. Here, my dad is the subject because that is who the sentence is about. The predicate is cooked because that's what my dad is doing. Number 3, I am tired. Here, I am the subject and am is the predicate. What am I doing? I am tired. Number 4 says, the keys are on the table. Here, the subject is the keys because that's what the sentence is about. The predicate is are. What are the keys doing? They are on the table. And number 5, we went to the water park. In this sentence, we are the subject and went is the predicate. All of these are examples of simple sentences. Sometimes when we write, we make mistakes. 2 of the most common errors when writing simple sentences are fragments and run-ons. A fragment is an incomplete thought. A fragment has one or more of the following errors. It's missing a subject, it's missing a predicate, or it is an incomplete thought and does not make sense. A run-on is a sentence that needs punctuation. A run-on is too long, so when you read it, you run out of breath. You can tell when you've written a run-on because you can insert punctuation, like a period, and split the run-on into 2 or more simple sentences. We want to avoid fragments in our writing because they don't make sense. So let's look at some examples and see how we can turn them into properly written simple sentences. Number 1, the bear. This is a fragment because we don't know what the bear is doing. We are missing the predicate. The bear slept in leaves. Now we know what the bear is doing. Number 2, Jessica's pet frog. Similar to the last example, this is a fragment because we are missing the predicate. What is Jessica's pet frog doing? Jessica's pet frog hopped away. Now we know what her pet frog is doing. Number 3, growled from hunger. In this example, we have a predicate or an action, but we're missing the subject. Who or what is growling from hunger? My stomach growled from hunger. Number 4, the fish in the pond. This is a tricky example because it looks long enough to be a simple sentence. However, we're missing the predicate. What is the fish in the pond doing? Oh, the fish in the pond swam slowly. And number 5, under the table. In this example, we're missing both a subject and a predicate. We don't know who or what is under the table, and we don't know what is happening. I found my cat under the table. Under the table is just extra description to the subject I and the predicate found. Just like we want to avoid fragments, we want to avoid run-ons in our writing too, because they're too long and they're difficult to read. Let's look at some examples and see how we can turn them into properly written simple sentences. Number 1, the mailman delivered a package. My dog barked loudly. When you read this aloud, you can almost hear where we need a break in this sentence. You can also read closely to locate the first subject, the mailman, and the first predicate, delivered a package. Then you'll find the second subject and predicate, my dog barked loudly. I can place a period between these 2 ideas and split my run-on into 2 separate sentences. Number 2, my mom picked me up from school. I had a doctor's appointment in Barrington. Again, you can hear the pause when read aloud. Mom picked me up from school, period. I had a doctor's appointment in Barrington. You can split this up into 2 simple sentences. And finally, number 3, my phone rang loudly, I ignored it, then I had a voicemail. In this example, we can actually split this run-on into 3 simple sentences because we have 3 subjects and 3 predicates. My phone rang loudly, I ignored it, then I had a voicemail. So let's put all this together. Is this an example of a simple sentence, a fragment, or a run-on? We had tacos for dinner. This is a simple sentence. Number 2, the Chicago Bears. This is a fragment. We don't know what the Chicago Bears are doing. Number 3, Penny tried out for the cheerleading team. She didn't make it. This is a run-on. We can put a period in between team and she. Penny tried out for the cheerleading team, period. She didn't make it. Number 4, Grandma made cookies. They were delicious. This is another run-on. We can put a period after cookies. Grandma made cookies, period. They were delicious. Number 5, Mark got a haircut after school. This is a simple sentence. Our subject is Mark. What's he doing? He got a haircut after school. And finally, number 6, my fuzzy green hat. This is a fragment. We don't know what the fuzzy green hat is doing.